I'm making commercials for creators. This episode, Kelly Wakasa's brand, Do What Excites. The plan, do some research, find some assets to work with, so I'm not creating everything from scratch. Block out the scenes in Blender and polish them off with some compositing and After Effects. Research. Kelly started on YouTube on a skateboarding channel called Braille Skateboarding, so I want to include a scene of him skating at the beginning with his personalized Do What Excites deck that he sells. Some other central themes I want to include are New York City, iced coffee, the neon sign that appears in his live streams, the bus he rides around it, and some of his merch. So what I'm thinking is, we start with his logo as an intro, then it turns into a skateboard deck, then that skateboard deck does a tray flip, then a scene of him skating down a New York City street with one of his shirts on, then he falls into a cup of iced coffee that's on his desk, then that turns into the wheel of a bus that drives by camera to reveal his merch. Alright, so first blocking out the skateboarding scene. I found a skateboard model online that I'm going to turn into a skateboard deck. Then I grabbed a model that looks kind of like Kelly once I change his skin tone and hair color. Then I found a texture at Quixel Megascans, used it as a street, grabbed a model of a railway, and extended it using the array modifier. Then I moved on to the coffee cup. I modeled a cup, added some droplets to the side to make that thing sweat like a cold coffee. Then I added some coffee to the inside. But here's the thing, the coffee kind of looks like Coke. So then I asked myself, why does iced coffee look different than Coke? Then after doing some research, then I realized there's a gradient in coffee. It's slightly more opaque. So I added a gradient and now it looks like iced coffee. All right, so we got the coffee. So then I went on to make the neon sign, which was just an SVG I turned into a bunch of different curves, and then I made those curves neon by adding an emission to them. And then I duplicated that, filled it up, instead of making it into curves, made that a plastic material. Then I found a model of a bus online. It's not the same exact bus that Kelly has, but it works. I made it blue, modeled a quick ladder at the back, rigged that bad boy, and now we have a bus. I also added in a little basketball hoop to the back like Kelly has on his. Then I used these building models I found. There's a link in the description if you're interested to check out the original models, and change the names on the shops that have to do with things that Kelly does. Then I added in a field full of grass. I used a particle system, spread out a bunch of grass that I got on Quixel Megascans. So the last thing I did was made some of his shirts and jackets that he sells as merch. I found some shirt and jacket models online, and then I made new materials to match what he had on his website. Then I added in some displacement so they looked like they were getting pushed by wind, and then I animated those guys. Compositing. Then I jumped into AE and did a little logo animation with some shape layers, and then added some slight adjustments and added chromatic aberration to my renders and displacement, which makes things look slightly more like they were shot on a lens. And blam, we got our Do What Excites commercial. Enjoy.
Do what excites.
Nice. Do what excites.
Do what excites.
Do what excites. Do what excites.
Do what excites.
Do what excites.
Do what excites.
Do what excites.
Because I love coffee.